It's just incredibly drinkable. It's going down very smooth. My friends behind the camera are hoping they'll get a taste of it. This beer is going entirely down my gullet.
I'm James.
I'm Mark.
I'm Brett.
I'm Gary.
And today we're drinking
Oktoberfest beers.
Oktoberfest beers.
Prost.
What are we drinking right now?
Right now we're drinking MadeWest Oktoberfest. It's got a nice golden color to it on the nose, getting a little bit of earthy hay kind of notes. It's clean, it's refreshing, very well balanced.
So this is Festbier. This is a German-style lager from Highland Park. Nice, very clear, very light, real traditional-looking lager. This beer is great. It's clean. It's got a little bit of like roasty, like marshmallow flavors, but nothing too sweet. Just one to drink.
Up next, we have a really cool beer. I'm super excited to try this out. This is the true Märzen Oktoberfest, part of the Eastside series from Angel City Brewery in downtown LA. I'm gonna crack this baby open. So they brewed this beer back in March, lagered it for 180 days, and then packaged it up just like they used to do back in Germany. So I'm a sucker for history. So sign me up for the East Side because who's brewing beer like this in LA? Pretty sweet, really interesting.
All right, next up we have the Festbier from Three Weavers. It's the Inglewood favorite. Let's see what we got. This is a super light pour. You can see it's got this kind of like very translucent golden hue. Super pretty. This is really nutty, but it's not bad. It's super crisp, super clean, and super drinkable too.
I got Hüftgold from El Segundo Brewing Company. Let's try this fucking beer. This one's malty, way maltier than it looks. You got that Festbier look, very light. Looks crisp and clean, but it's got this like really heavy sweet malt presence. It's good.
Santa Monica Oktoberfest from Santa Monica Brewworks. It's their Märzen lager, and it's a collaboration with their sister city, Hamona Brau. And we got a nice dark color, fantastic flavor. It's not super light, pretty crushable for an Oktoberfest beer.
Next up, an Oktoberfest style lager, aptly titled Fest. This is from Common Space Brewery in Hawthorne. So we got a nice like golden colored beer here.
Pils is notably super light and just also very refreshing.
I like that there's just a hint of like caramel malt sweetness on this taste. I'm really just getting balance on this with like a cut of malt sweetness.
This pours a little bit lighter than my expectations, but at the same time I can see that it's not something I can knock back, you know, as easily as a Pils.
I wouldn't say it's the best beer we've had all day. I'd plant this firmly right in the middle of the pack. Nice stuff. This is Fest from Common Space.
So next up, we're doing the Golden State Festbier from Paperback Brewing. If you guys are familiar with Paperback, you can see this can art is a little more subdued than their usual can art. I mean, I'm used to seeing like robot threesomes.
I actually kind of dig it. I like the bear.
Let's go ahead and pour this thing.
Not much of a head retention on there. I don't get a lot of sweetness from it. It's a 5.7%. It's the kind of beer that you could basically crush. I would say it's very crushable.
I've got some Smogtoberfest from Smog City. On the pour, you can see it's much darker than some Oktoberfest. And it's toasty, it's nice and roasty. It's got some roasted malt and it's a little dry on the finish. It's a great beer.
What do we have here? This is Drude Märzen, Ogopogo Brewing, San Gabriel, California. Honestly, one of my favorite breweries in the LA County, and we're gonna give this a pour and see how malty did this beer go. That copper thing comes in through the nose, like almost like pennies a little bit. Like you get copper, but not the sweetness. Yeah, extremely drinkable. I really like this beer a lot.
Bowie was a handsome motherfucker.
Feed Bowie some beer.
He's smoking. He can't drink and smoke at the same time. Next up is Oaktoberfest by Firestone Walker. First time I've ever actually heard of this beer. First time that they've actually packaged this beer. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that.
The only beer that we've had today that's been aged in oak barrels. Of course, Firestone Walker pulling out the big guns for this seasonal favorite. Let's crack it open. It's not working.
It looks like a a lighter hue, maybe something a little more on the Festbier side.
A slight shade darker than a few of the Oktoberfest we've poured today.
I would say mid-gold color. It's not dark, but it's not light.
That's definitely one of the more complex things we've drank today.
There's not a lot of bells and whistles going on here. That's a good thing.
Oak plays a background character, to be honest with you, in not a bad way.
It's really well balanced.
This is pretty exciting. It's something I want to drink a little more of.
Absolutely fantastic beer. Pumpkin beers are okay when they actually use pumpkin in the beer or gourds in the beer, but pumpkin beers, generally speaking, it's fucking cinnamon, nutmeg, and whatever else the spices that they throw in there. So there's no pumpkin in there. It's just the spices that they use to make pumpkin beer. Pumpkin spice. So next up is Festbier by Enegren for the glory and power of beer. This is a 6% lager. Get a little bit of grassiness, a little bit of earthiness. Let's give it a whirl. Not to steal your line. Just a solid beer.
Okay, this is an Oktoberfest from Enegren. It's a Bavarian style Märzen. Tell it's got a much darker color than some of the other ones.
Pour me a little here.
Of course. Now this is a deep amber, very clean nose, really well balanced. It's a true Oktoberfest. Enegren's the place you want to be.
This is the Enegren Bavarian style Märzen at 5.5%. And this is the Festbier at 6%. Big difference in color. You're getting more a golden color here, where you're getting a little bit more of an amber color here. I think this one's better. Through and through, like, the malt bill, the hops, nothing's overwhelming, but two fantastic beers.
Wait, didn't I do this one already? Hüftgold. I feel like I said that on camera.
I think the first one we started.
That was the first one, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we did it.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
If I could only drink one of these for the rest of my Oktoberfest themed life, I'm probably gonna pick the Märzen from Santa Monica Brewer. Bready, it's malty, it's biscuity, it's got that toffiness, and this thing's like medium bodied. It's perfect for Oktoberfest.
If there was one Oktoberfest beer that I had to drink for the rest of my life, and only one, it would definitely have to be the Oaktoberfest. Now, Firestone Walker, you want to pay me some money?
If I had to drink one Oktoberfest style beer for the rest of my Oktoberfest, it would be Enegren Festbier. Doesn't get much better than this. I guess that does it. Cheers.